Hermione Granger is a fictional character in the Harry Potter series of novels by J.K. Rowling. She first appeared in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, 1997, as a first-year student on her way to Hogwarts. She becomes friends with Harry Potter and Ron Weasley after they save her from a troll in the girls' bathroom. Hermione often uses her quick wit, deft recall, and encyclopedic knowledge to help her friends in perilous situations. Rowling has stated that Hermione resembles herself as a young girl, with her insecurity and fear of failure. Hermione has been immensely popular. The version of the character portrayed by Emma Watson in all 8 Harry Potter films was voted the best female character of all time in a 2016 poll of Hollywood professionals conducted by The Hollywood Reporter. Rowling has described Hermione as a strong female character who is bright, logical, upright and good. Rowling was seen as a know-it-all in her youth, and she said Hermione is an exaggerated version of her younger self. She added that beneath Hermione's studious exterior, she is insecure and afraid of failure, traits which are inspired by Rowling's own youthful insecurity. According to Rowling, Hermione is the perfect expository character due to her encyclopedic knowledge of the wizarding world. Rowling said that Hermione's parents, 2 Muggle dentists, are somewhat bemused by their odd daughter, but are proud of her nonetheless. Rowling has called Luna Lovegood the anti-Hermione due to the differences between them. Hermione's first name was taken from a character in William Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale, though Rowling has said that the 2 characters have very little in common. Rowling said that Hermione's parents are the type of people who would give their daughter an unusual name to prove their cleverness. Hermione's original surname was Puckle, but Rowling ultimately felt the name did not suit her. Hermione is introduced in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, 1997, when she meets Harry Potter and Ron Weasley on the Hogwarts Express. After mocking Ron for his inability to perform a spell, she proves how much she knows by declaring that she memorized all their school textbooks. At Hogwarts, Hermione annoys other students with her vast knowledge, and Harry and Ron consider her arrogant. They heartily dislike her until they rescue her from a troll. She is so thankful that she lies to protect them from punishment, thus winning their friendship. Later, Hermione's knack for logic and her penchant for library research aid the trio in their quest to locate a magical object known as the Philosopher's Stone. On their way to the stone, Hermione solves a puzzle and defeats the dangerous Devil's Snare plan. Rowling said she resisted requests by her editor to remove the troll scene. She explained later, Hermione is so very arrogant and annoying in the early part of Philosopher's Stone that I really felt it needed something, literally, huge to bring her together with Harry and Ron. In Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets 1998, Hermione develops a liking for Gilderoy Lockhart, the new Defense Against the Dark Arts professor. During a confrontation between the Gryffindor and Slytherin Quidditch teams, a brawl nearly ensues after Draco Malfoy calls her a mudblood, an insulting term for a muggle-born wizard. Hermione concocts a polyjuice potion so she, Harry and Ron can infiltrate the Slytherin dormitory and collect information about the heir of Slytherin. The boys drink the potion and take on the appearance of Malfoy's friends, but Hermione, having used an improper ingredient in her vial of potion, ends up looking like a cat and cannot join the mission. When the basilisk escapes from the Chamber of Secrets, Hermione successfully identifies it through library research, but is petrified by its gaze. Though she lies incapacitated in the hospital wing, the information she found aids Harry and Ron in their quest to solve the mystery of the chamber. Hermione is revived after Harry kills the basilisk, but she is distraught to learn that all end-of-year exams have been cancelled. In Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban 1999, Hermione buys a cat named Crookshanks, who takes to chasing Ron's pet rat, Scabbers. Before the start of term, McGonagall secretly gives Hermione a time turner, a device which lets her travel through time to handle her busy class schedule. During the school year, tension arises between Hermione and her 2 best friends. Harry becomes furious with her because she told McGonagall that he got a Firebolt racing broom, which was then confiscated to be inspected for traces of dark magic. Ron is angry at her because he believes Crookshanks was responsible for Scabbers' disappearance, although Hermione maintains that Crookshanks is not to blame. Later, Hermione uses the time turner to help Harry rescue Sirius Black and the Hippogriff Buckbeak. Hermione is disturbed by the way house elves are treated in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, 2000. She establishes the Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare, SPEW, to lobby for their rights. When students from other schools of magic visit Hogwarts for the Triwizard Tournament, Hermione is asked to the Yule Ball by the Bulgarian Quidditch star Victor Krum of Durmstrang. She later gets into a heated argument with Ron after he accuses her of fraternizing with the enemy. She supports Harry throughout the Triwizard Tournament, helping him prepare for each task. After the second task, Krum asks her to visit him in Bulgaria over the summer, but she politely declines. Near the end of the term, Hermione takes action against Rita Skeeter, a tabloid journalist and an registered animagus who published defamatory material about Hermione, Harry, and Hagrid. In Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, 2003, Hermione becomes a Gryffindor prefect. Her new friendship with Luna Lovegood has a rocky start after Hermione criticizes The Quibbler, a periodical published by Luna's father. When the Daily Prophet alleges that Harry fabricated the story of Voldemort's return, Hermione defends Harry to fellow students. She also bickers frequently with Ron. After the Ministry of Magic decrees that Hogwarts students will not be taught practical defensive magic, Hermione proposes that Harry should instruct students in defensive spells. Many students are interested in the secret practice group, which they call Dumbledore's Army. Near the end of the novel, Hermione is involved in a battle at the Department of Mysteries. She is seriously injured by the Death Eater Antonin Dolohov, but makes a full recovery. The new potions Professor Horace Slughorn invites Hermione to join his exclusive slug club in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, 2005. During tryouts for the Gryffindor Quidditch team, Hermione helps Ron retain his position as keeper by sabotaging his rival, Cormac McLaggen. Hermione's romantic feelings for Ron continue to grow, and she invites him to Slughorn's Christmas party. Ron, however, has become romantically involved with Lavender Brown. Hermione feuds with Ron until he suffers a near-fatal poisoning, which frightens her enough to reconcile with him. After Dumbledore's death, Hermione and Ron both vow to stay by Harry's side regardless of what happens. Hermione accompanies Harry and Ron on the quest to destroy Voldemort's remaining Horcruxes in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, 2007. Before leaving home, she ensures the safety of her parents by placing a false memory charm on them, which causes them to believe they are Wendell and Monica Wilkins. She prepares for their journey by filling an enchanted purse with things they will need. She also inherits Dumbledore's copy of the Tales of Beedle the Bard, which allows her to discover secrets about the Deathly Hallows. When Hermione and Harry encounter Voldemort and his snake Nagini in Godric's Hollow, Hermione casts a spell which saves her and Harry but which breaks Harry's wand. When Hermione, Harry and Ron are caught by Snatchers, Hermione temporarily conceals Harry's identity by disfiguring his face with a stinging jinx. She tries to pass herself off as a half-blood to avoid persecution, but she and her friends are recognized and taken to Malfoy Manor. Bellatrix Lestrange tortures Hermione with the Cruciatus Curse and demands to know how the trio obtained the Sword of Gryffindor. Hermione, Harry, Ron and the other prisoners being held in Malfoy Manor are eventually rescued by the house elf Dobby. Later, Hermione impersonates Bellatrix using Polyjuice Potion in order to steal a Horcrux from Gringotts. She, Harry, and Ron fight in the Battle of Hogwarts, during which Hermione destroys the Horcrux with a basilisk fang. Hermione and Ron share their first kiss during the battle. In the novel's epilogue, which is set 19 years after Voldemort's death, Hermione and Ron are sending their daughter Rose Granger Wheelie off to her first year at Hogwarts. They also have a younger son named Hugo. Although the epilogue does not state that Hermione and Ron are married, news articles published after the release of Deathly Hallows refer to Hermione as Ron's wife. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is a play written by Jack Thorne from a story by Thorne, J.K. Rowling and John Tiffany. In the play, which takes place 19 years after the events of Deathly Hallows, Hermione is the Minister for Magic. She is played by the Eswatini-born actress Noma Dumeswini, known for her performances in Linda, A Raisin in the Sun and A Human Being Died That Night. Dumeswini described the role as a privilege and a responsibility. The casting of a black actress led to criticism on social media, which Rowling dismissed as racism. She asserted that the novels never explicitly establish Hermione's race or skin color. Dumeswini called the backlash unimaginative and said that many actors and actresses are glad she is portraying Hermione because it allows them to see a version of themselves on stage. The Independent praised Dumeswini's portrayal, writing that she did a tremendous job. Dumeswini received the 2017 Laurence Olivier Award for Best Actress in a Supporting Role for her performance. Emma Watson portrays Hermione in all 8 of the Harry Potter film adaptations. Casting agents for Philosopher's Stone, 2001, found the 9-year-old Watson through her Oxford theatre teacher. She had acted in school plays, but had no film acting experience. Although Watson had to audition a total of 8 times before earning the role, J.K. Rowling supported her casting after her first screen test. Prior to casting Watson, the filmmakers considered Hattie Jones for the role. Jones had previous film acting experience in the 1998 film adaptation of the children's book series Madeline. When filming Chamber of Secrets 2002, Watson did not believe she was similar to her character. However, she later decided that Hermione is an exceptional role model for girls. In 2007, Watson said, "There are too many stupid girls in the media. Hermione's not scared to be clever. I think sometimes really smart girls dumb themselves down a bit, and that's bad. When I was 9 or 10, I would get really upset when they tried to make me look geeky. But now I absolutely love it. I find it's so much pressure to be beautiful. Hermione doesn't care what she looks like." During production of Order of the Phoenix, 2007, Watson was uncertain about returning for the next film. She cited the long production schedule, attention from the public and a lack of freedom as reasons for not reprising her role. She eventually decided to return, saying that she could not bear to see anyone else play Hermione. Steve Kloves, who wrote the screenplay adaptations for 7 of the 8 films, revealed in a 2003 interview that Hermione is his favorite character. He said, "There's something about her fierce intellect coupled with a complete lack of understanding of how she affects people, that I just find charming and irresistible to write." In the novels, Hermione is described as having bushy brown hair, brown eyes and large front teeth. In Goblet of Fire, Madame Pomfrey shrinks her teeth to a smaller size. In the film adaptation of Philosopher's Stone, Emma Watson wore large fake teeth for one scene. She did not wear them for subsequent films because they made it difficult for her to speak. Hermione's most prominent features include her prodigious intellect and cleverness. She is level-headed, book-smart, and very logical. Throughout the series, Hermione uses the skills of a librarian and teacher to gather the information needed to defeat Voldemort. When in doubt, she always turns to the school library. She is often bossy yet unfailingly dutiful and loyal to her friends, a person who can always be counted on. Rowling said that Hermione never strays off the path. She always keeps her attention focused on the job that must be done. Despite Hermione's intelligence and bossy attitude, Rowling says Hermione has quite a lot of vulnerability in her personality, as well as a sense of insecurity underneath. Feels utterly inadequate, and to compensate, she tries and strives to be the best at everything at school, projecting a confidence that irritates people. During her data exam at the end of Prisoner of Azkaban, Hermione reveals that her biggest fear is failure after a boggart takes the form of Professor McGonagall and tells her that she has failed all her exams. After the final novel was released, Rowling stated that Hermione's career in the Ministry was to fight for the rights of the oppressed and disenfranchised, such as house elves or muggle-borns. Hermione is also very protective of her friends and values them so much that Rowling has suggested that, if Hermione looked in the mirror of Air Eyes, she would see Harry, Ron, and herself alive and Voldemort defeated. Hermione also learns to ignore what bullies such as Draco Malfoy say to her, often preventing Harry and Ron from retaliating and thinking of some way to outsmart him. She accepts her status as a Muggle-born, and says in Deathly Hallows that she is a Muglet and proud of it. Hermione is portrayed during the novel series as an exceptionally talented witch. Rowling has said that Hermione is a borderline genius. She is the highest performing student in her year at Hogwarts and is often the first student to master a new spell or charm introduced in her classes. In Order of the Phoenix, she casts a Protean charm, which is a type of magic usually taught to older students. She is also the first one of her age to be able to cast non-verbal spells. Hermione is a competent duelist. Rowling has stated that during the first 3 novels Hermione could have beaten Harry in any magical duel, but by the 4th book Harry has become so good at data that he would have defeated Hermione. Hermione does not perform as well in subjects that are not learned through books or formal training, as broom flying does not come as naturally to her in her first year as it does for Harry, and she shows no affinity for divination, which she drops from her 3rd year studies. She is also not particularly skilled at wizard's chess. Hermione's patroness is an otter, which is Rowling's favorite animal. In the book The Ivory Tower and Harry Potter, Eliza T. Dressing discusses Hermione's role in the series and its relation to feminist debates. The chapter begins with an analysis of Hermione's name and the role of previous characters with the same name in mythology and fiction, and the heritage Hermione has inherited from these characters due to her name. Dressing also emphasizes Hermione's parallelism with Rowling herself and how, as Hermione has some attributes from Rowling herself, she must be a strong character. The chapter also points out that, despite being born to Muggle parents, Hermione's magical abilities are innate. Her compulsion for study helps both the character's development, which makes Hermione a prime example that information brings power, and the plot of the series, as her knowledge of the wizard world is often used to save the day. Dressing states that Harry and Ron are more dependent on Hermione than she is on them. However, she adds that Hermione's hysteria and crying happen far too often to be considered a believable part of the development of Hermione's character and are quite out of line with her core role in the book. In his review of Philosopher's Stone, Brian Linderevin wrote, "From Hermione Granger's perfect introduction to her final scene, Watson is better than I could have possibly imagined. She steals the show." In another article, Linda and Steve had said that Watson's cute and astute portrayal of Hermione has already become a favorite among fans. The Daily Telegraph called her performance admirable. Watson was nominated for 5 awards for her performance in Philosopher's Stone, winning the Young Artist Award for Leading Young Actress. She was also chosen as one of Entertainment Weekly's breakout performers of 2001. Hugo Networks listed Hermione as one of their best heroes of all time, saying, "Most of us can probably recall having a classmate like Hermione when we were in grammar school, one who can at first be a little off-putting, but once you get to know her, she's not a bad chick to have on your side." In also listed Hermione as their second top Harry Potter character, praising her character development. In 2016, The Hollywood Reporter did a poll of Hollywood professionals, including actors, writers and directors, into their favorite female characters of all time. Hermione topped the poll. Philip Nell of Kansas State University notes that Rowling, who worked for Amnesty International, evokes her social activism through Hermione's passion for oppressed elves and the formation of her society for the promotion of elfish welfare. Scholars such as Bryken Carey have praised the book's abolitionist sentiments, viewing Hermione's Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare as a model for younger readers' political engagement. However, in an analysis for Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Roland Manthrope states that 7 books on, we still only know her as swottish, sensible Hermione, a caricature, not a character. Hermione features in the Harry Bladder sketches in All That, where she appears as Hermione and is played by Lisa Foiles. The Wedge, an Australian sketch comedy, parodies Hermione and Harry in Love on a Cooking With show before being caught by Snape. Hermione is the focus of the fan-created web series, Hermione Granger and the Quarter-Life Crisis.